Hey, Dr. Lori here, and you want to know if you need to stick to that strict, boring anti-cancer diet for the rest of your life. And I know it can seem like a hard thing to do because you're used to eating a certain way for 3 decades, 4 decades, if not longer. You're used to eating whatever you want, whenever you want, following those cravings, and really just not paying too much attention to what foods you're actually putting into your system. And after a cancer diagnosis, I'm sure you've been told it all. You've been told, okay, you need to go vegetarian, cut out sugar, cut out wheat, sweets, meats, all the things that really can inflame your system. So in this short video, I want to talk about the top 3 things that you need to know when it comes to following a strict diet and how to make this whole process a lot easier for you, because it really is a journey. It's not something you need to switch overnight, but it is something that I can help you make easier and follow along because it is that important and critical to your anti-cancer journey. Now, the first thing, when you are given a diet to follow, I want you to look at it as a lifestyle change. It is not a diet that you're following for 3-4 weeks to see result and then you can go back to whatever you want to eat. You're really looking at it as what is the best thing to put into your system that you are now going to switch over your life to make it part of your lifestyle. And I get it, this can seem totally overwhelming, but we can switch the way we're looking at this process. So for example, instead of saying, oh, I can't have this, or I was told I can't have this or else the cancer is gonna grow, I want you to switch it in your mind and say, I don't want that. I don't want things that are gonna drag me down. I don't want foods that are gonna make me feel more tired. And I don't want things going into my body that are going to inflame me. So it's a very different approach and mindset when looking at food. So just say you were to go to a party or go socialize or go to someone's house and you said, ooh, I can't have that. I'm not allowed to have that. You know, that's not on my diet. I can't do that. How do you think your loved ones, your friends, your guests, or the hostess is gonna feel? They're gonna feel sorry for you and they're gonna say, oh, you know, that's really too bad. Just a little bit can't hurt. Or, oh, why don't you just have this? You know, like just a little bit's okay. And they're gonna put that peer pressure onto you and make you feel like you are some crazy person. And you have all the explaining to do. And so if you're like me, you would rather not explain any of that and just do your own thing, which you know is best for your system. Another trick is even to go into this social event or wherever you're going and have something like this beforehand. So fill yourself up with a smoothie or something that's very healthy and nutritious with fiber, something to fill you up so then you don't have those cravings. So when people are saying, oh, just a little bit, oh, this looks so great, you don't have that urge at all. And the other thing is if someone is telling you, you know, I've baked all this food for you. I made it specifically for you in this event. I can't believe you're not going to have it. For one, if any of your friends do that and peer pressure, like, you kind of wonder, you know, why? Why do they care so much and why are they pressuring you? But if that does happen, you could just say, oh, I'm not hungry. Oh, I just ate. You can package it up for later. And that'll make them feel better that, okay, you're gonna actually try it and have it at another time. And then you can give it away to somebody else. I mean, it depends what it is. And if just say this is like the one-off event where you're like, oh, I need to have this croissant because I am in Italy and it's the only time that I get to taste this, like that is a whole different story. I'm talking about 90% of your life when you are encountered in situations with things that are not on your meal plan or not on your allowed list, then we can look at it that way, where we can say 90% of the time, let's do things that are really uplifting to your system, supporting your immune system, and helping you just be overall healthy. Whether you have cancer or not, I mean, these are things that you should be doing already. I know my mom, for example, my entire life, she never ate junk food. Maybe like 5 times I can count on one hand how many times she's really just had a little bit more chocolate than she should have. Even when we go out for restaurants, she would say, you know, I'm here because I want to be with you and I want to be with the family, and it's more about the experience than about the junk food that you be putting in your system. She is the most picky person that I have ever met when it comes to asking the waitresses, saying, you know, what kind of oil is being used? How are you cooking this food? What is the actual ingredient ingredients that I'm gonna be putting into my body, because she knows that she doesn't want to feel like shit afterwards. And that's how we should all be thinking about food. What is it that's gonna fuel our body and make us feel amazing? To her, I mean, she's in her 70s now, and she has so much energy. If you met my mom, she never complains. She doesn't have any pain. She has more energy than anyone combined that I've ever met. So that is really empowering for me when I look at that and think, wow, she's gone 7 decades of really watching what she puts in her system, and it pays off. She doesn't feel like she's missing out or, just really being left out of anything. She actually feels better than anyone. So I have to admire that, and I think that's a very encouraging thing for you to even do, to look at food as something that is just part of an experience, but it doesn't make or break it. So if you were to order a salad with baked fish, or to have, things on the allowed list, having rice or all the vegetables, chicken, like all the things that are made without deep frying and made in a really healthy way, really at the end of the day, if you're enjoying that experience with people, that's what really should matter. So number 1 is to really look at food as an empowering way to change your life and to have control of your cancer journey, versus a sacrifice and saying, oh, my life sucks and everyone should feel sorry for me because I can't eat anything. And same with your family too at home. They should realize and know that they can join in on this with you and eat similarly and to feel amazing. Or they can say, it's too bad you can't have this, and really make you feel like crap about it. So it is a decision, and for you to say, this is what I'm doing, you can do your own thing, but for me personally, I want to feel really healthy, and these are the foods that I choose to be part of my journey and to feel great. So the second point really does go similarly to the first, is where you're looking at food as fuel. You really do have to break it down into those 2 categories of, will this food make me feel like crap, or will this food energize me? And when you look at it as in those 2 separate columns, you can really quickly decide, is this something that you want part of your life? And if you start to realize that foods make you feel tired or more anxious or have sleepless nights, you can even start a food diary and make connections like that. So you can say, is this really worth it? And sometimes it is. I hear all the time where they say, like someone will say, if I have a piece of cheese, I know I'll feel bloated, I know I may get a little bit of eczema, or I know that I'll just have diarrhea or something afterwards, but for them, it's completely worth it because they want to enjoy that food. And if it is the one-off, I'd say completely fine. Like, you know what you're getting yourself into. You get those reactions. You know that it can maybe spike your inflammation levels. You may feel more stiff or sore, but for you, it's completely worth it. So understanding which foods are fueling you versus which ones make you feel crappy make the whole strict diet experience a lot easier. Because I'm sure at the end of the day, you want to feel energetic, whether you have cancer or not. You want to be able to live your life and have a really rich quality of life without pain. And food really does impact that. Also, when you're fueling your body properly, you shouldn't have cravings. So for example, if you are eating a very balanced meal plan with lots of protein and healthy fats, you shouldn't be craving the things that we normally crave. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, oh, I just want sweets and cookies and carbs and this diet sucks, how long do I have to be strict for? It's usually the junk food that you're craving, or the salty chips or the cakes, like things that are just like, we know that are not going to help support our system. So if you are getting a lot of cravings, that's another indication that you're not fueling your body properly. So that's a really good question to ask if you are to reach out to anyone from my team to help along your cancer journey. You can ask, why do I have these cravings? Why do I want this meat all the time? Or why do I want this bread all the time? And that is something that we can help you with, so we can fuel your body in the ways to eliminate a lot of these cravings that are coming up. And it'll definitely make this experience a lot easier for you without feeling like you're sacrificing all the good stuff. Now, the third, and I would say most important part of the whole journey when it comes to changing your meal plan and following a diet more specific to anti-cancer living, is to really have a rotation diet. So it's something that you're not following the exact same things all the time, because that's also going to start annoying your immune system. So just say you wake up, you have the same breakfast, this very similar snacks and lunch and same dinner, the same foods all the time on repeat, we're not changing up the microbiome and the health of our immune system that we really need to do. And the way that I know this is an issue is because I run food intolerance testing all the time in the clinic, where we take someone's sample of blood, we test their IgG immune system. So that's more of the delayed reaction of how your immune system is being affected by these foods. And what happens is if someone was eating the same set of foods all the time, literally every single one of those foods will pop up on this IgG food test. So I can save you $500 and tell you if you are eating the same things all the time, that will show up on your food sensitivity test results. So the key here is to really have some variation and to switch it up in your diet. So instead of just having almond milk all the time, maybe switch that up for coconut milk or hemp milk or cashew milk. Switch up the variation, and then also instead of having steel-cut oats in the morning for breakfast, maybe switch that with millet and quinoa flakes. You can have rice cereals, just looking at the different grains, the different vegetables, the different nut milks, all of that, where you're not having the same grocery list on repeat. And I know that is a lot easier because I do order my own groceries from one of the local grocery stores that comes delivered, and you can save the lists and you can just have that on repeat and make it super easy. But if that is you, where you know that you're having the same things all the time, make 3 different lists where you say, okay, week 1, week 2, week 3, this is how I'm varying my diet. And you can also look at which fruits and vegetables are in season. So you know that in the fall, you can have more squash and sweet potato, whereas in the summer, maybe you won't have as much of those root vegetables. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of fasting and letting your body go into a state of autophagy, is where all of the true healing comes from. So with meal plans and diets, knowing that fasting all the time is not a great thing for your system, but then also feasting all the time is obviously not a great thing for your system either. So we're really looking for diet variation where we can switch it up. So maybe 5 days of the week, you're doing more of an anti-inflammatory, 2 days of the week doing more of a mTOR protein building day, and then maybe 1 week out of every month you're doing more of a fasting mimicking diet. Now this can sound very complicated and thinking, oh, there's so many rules and so many things to follow, but my job as a naturopathic doctor and with my team, we really try to make this process easy for you, where you understand the whys of what you're doing, and to help eliminate those excess cravings and try to give you some balance in your life and to make it more of a lifestyle instead of a strict 6-week diet plan. If you feel like you are following this strict diet and you feel like you are just in agony over it and it's painful and you want some support, making this more of a lifestyle change, then myself and my team are experts in this. We love helping understand why your body is doing what it's doing and how to make it into an easier process. So if this is something you would like help with, please look into applying to work with us, because we would love to help you.